Hello and welcome to the LUKR Awards 2022 winners announcement as part of the LNUR Line podcast. We're here with a couple of members, and I remembered this time to do the members intro, so I'm Richard, chair of the LUKR Lego UK Railway, a Lego train club based in the UK. We also have Levi, who's our podcast producer, as Matt stepped out for a bit.
Hello there.
We have a Rory down in Portsmouth.
Hello.
We have a Will up in Newcastle.
Hello.
We have a Henry down on the south coast of England.
Hello.
A Trace in the US.
Howdy.
And a Miller, unfortunately.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's his usual happy routine. So this podcast is a announcement of winners in the club awards that we've been running this year. We had 4 categories and we had some rules for those categories. So I'm going to pass over to Trace first as a reminder of the rules, and we can pass over to them now. Trace, off you go.
Absolutely. Happy to oblige. In order to enter the LUK Award or LUKR Awards this year, just a couple qualifications that we asked of everyone who participated. Number 1, both renders and physical models were accepted. Number 2, you could enter a maximum of 3 entries per category, of which there were 3, excluding our member category, of course. Third rule that we asked was that the model must be built within the last 24 months or the last 2 years. So whether that's designed or completed, as long as it's been started and finished within that time frame, that'd be great. Entrants we request will be based in the UK and aged over 16 at time of entry, which is late TFLs into your A-full years. Entries are not open to LUKR members except for the specific member category. Another rule that we had was that models may use third-party elements, including power systems, wheels, rods, other elements, lighting, electrical things like that, but the majority of the model must be constructed from Lego elements, and that was up to discretion for us to decide. And then number 7, by entering, you agree that the LUKR may share images or models submitted on its website, podcast videos such as here, and other social media channels, sort of just an arbitrary descriptor.
Thank you, Trace. And yep, that's right. So part of the reason for doing the awards is to showcase some really cool models that we wouldn't see otherwise. And that's why we want to share them. Okay, Mr. Miller, would you like to remind us of the categories?
Not really, but I will. So there's best display. That's where you enter in your displays. There's best wagon.
Or buildings.
There's best display where you enter. Shut up! It's my turn. There's also best wagons where you know that. Best locos where you enter in your diesels, your steams, your electrics, and other. And then there's the best members model, which was for the L whatever we are this week, members only.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Yes, so 4 categories. We've got some stats on those from Henry later. You can definitely skip over that bit of the podcast if you don't know maths. We all will. So just before we get into the winners, just a reminder of prizes. Very kindly, we were sponsored by techbrick.co.uk, who Dan and his dad are members. They supply lots of cool stuff. So they supply the Trix Bricks track in the UK. So no import duties or anything like that. And S Bricks, and they're always looking at like cool stuff that's really good for the Lego train hobby. So thank you, Tech Brick, for our prizes. We have for the non-member categories, the best loco, wagon, and display. We have a £40 voucher with techbrick.co.uk. You can spend on track or motors or a mix of both. For members, we have a circuit cube. Ooh. Yep, so we've had those prizes. Thank you again to techbrick.co.uk. It's really appreciated, and we'd probably run it without, but it's nice to have some little prizes for the winners. So we can move on to the winners. The first for best Lego railway display / building or structure, we have Paul Robinson's Swindon Works, which is absolutely brilliant. And members, you can talk about this very shortly once we've done the announcement of these. But I think we can agree it's pretty impressive in scale, and what he's planning to do with it next is also impressive. So well done, Paul, again. Wagons, we have the BR Rail Freight Wagon by Hod Carrier. Well done. And the next is best locomotive model, which is the LNER A4 Pacific, Sir Nigel Gresley by James H. So well done, James. Really nice model. Lots of comments about that. A lot of nice comments about that on social media as well. Next up, we have the hotly contested Members Award, and we'll see this in stats. We did get a lot more entries for Member Awards than the other categories, probably because most of the people who would enter are our members. So the winning members model was Josh Lewis's Class 91. Really nice. Intercity livery. I really like that one. So those are the winners. I think we can then move on to some stats from Henry. And if you have one, we will inform TechBrick that you've won. So you should have an email. Look out for emails. Check your spam folder if you don't get it in the next week or so, with a voucher to win. Members, we'll work out what's happening with the Circuit Cube a bit later. So on to Henry and some stats about the awards. Henry.
Okay, so in the Loco category for non-members, we had 16 entries. In the wagon category and the display category, we had 3 entries each. And in the member category, we had 32 entries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Prideful bunch we are.
I think
Yes.
basically we have most Lego train builders who are into displaying and sharing their models in the club already.
Now, more statistics, because I'm not done yet. There was 63. Yes, there were 63 votes in the Loco category, which averaged out at 3.94 votes per entry, and the average number of votes given in that category per voter was 2.25. The wagons category had, and the display category both had each of the 28 voters vote once. The member category had 67 votes in total, with an average of 2.1 votes per entry, and an average number of votes given per voter of 2.4. So for the Loco category and the member category, members had 3 votes, so the majority of them used all 3 of those votes. And the most successful member was Trace, who had 10 votes in total across his 2 models.
You did, yes. Trace did very well.
Guys, I appreciate it.
Didn't win though.
You didn't win. But,
Oh, trust me, I know.
Good. Thanks to all of the members who voted. And we did have a 6-way tie, didn't we, at some point?
Yes, we had a 6-way tie on Monday evening when the voting closed. And so we asked the only committee member who hadn't voted to do a vote. And we didn't tell them who was tied, of course, so that they could still vote fairly. And we were lucky enough that they voted for Josh's HST and none of the other tied entries.
Do you have it handy as to the other members who were tied, the other 6 models?
Yes, I do. So
What you
we
put?
had the LNER J70 tram by Lewis Bird.
Nice.
We had the XGWR 1400 auto tank BR Green Early Crest by Trace P, Queen of Bees. We had the BR rebuilt Merchant Navy class Early Crest by Trace P. We had Hybrix Station Layout by Levi R. And SR Schools class Coal Hill by Rory F.
Thank you, Henry. Yes, we had a good range of stuff that was tied.
Some good company.
And we were quite close to tying on the members wagon, but that's a whole different podcast that we're definitely not doing now, so we don't have time. So, okay, let's move on to discussion from members, though. So, I think I'd like to start with opening it up to members to discuss the low entry numbers, and I think I've put my reasoning for why I think we had low entry numbers, in that most UK Lego train builders who are willing to come to shows and display their models and enter them in awards are probably already in the club, but we probably could have promoted it a bit more. So any more ideas? I can see Trace, presumably. It says Madison, but presumably Trace.
Well, it's Trace for sure. Not sure who's promoting my wife on our site. But I think one of the reasons why we might have had so many low entries is due to the Brick Train Awards being pushed back or pushed further down the line. I know for myself in particular, when it comes to entering things like this, if you want to enter something new, you kind of start from scratch. And so if people are really focusing on that as the main sort of Lego Train Enthusiast Award set this year, the LUKR Awards might have just been a pit stop on the way to something bigger. So maybe not everyone had their stuff together yet.
I can see we have a hand up from Miller. Are we back on topic with Miller? Which is rare, I know.
I have a reason. I think there weren't as many people as well.
Is it something about no underground category?
No. Nothing as silly as that.
Okay. Sillier.
I think people just had better things to do with their lives.
Oh, that's harsh, my guy.
And now I shall lower my hand.
Harsh, but true. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, any more ideas on low entry numbers that we haven't discussed already?
Oh, sorry. I do have a proper reason.
Go on then.
Pretty much because we didn't really advertise it for long beforehand.
I blame whoever's in charge of organising it.
I do.
Richard, that's
I
you.
would as well.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Like we didn't.
No, to be fair, I could have done more. I shared it in some of the big Lego train groups. I was going to share it again and then forgot.
There we go.
Never mind.
Well, I think it was also competing with, when it's shared in those two groups, it's also competing with whatever the monthly mock is, and then whatever the theme of the week is. So it's a lot of noise sometimes too.
And all of those Block Junction spam posts too, obviously.
I've reposted this year, I'll have you know. Look at my sales this year.
Any more ideas on our entry numbers, or can we move on to something a bit more interesting? What was your favourite category this year? So we had we're going to exclude members, and I can see that Trace is wanting to speak. We're going to exclude the members category, and I think just go for wagons, locos, displays. We only had, I think, 3 entries for the displays, 3 entries for wagons, and then quite a lot of entries for locos. 16. There we go. Okay. So Trace was first, then Chris. Trace.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of talent on the field this round with the awards, but I think my favorite category to look at was the layouts. There was, for such minimal involvement, there was so much detail in all 3 of the entries, and each one stood out in its own specific way.
There was. I really liked it. I actually didn't vote for the winner personally. I loved Paul's layout. I really love it. I think it's great. But actually, the Hogwarts one, which was by, I think, Chris B, wasn't it?
Is it the Hogwarts one or the Hogsmeade?
Oh no, sorry.
Hogsmeade,
I did vote for the Hogsmeade. I think I voted for the Hogsmeade one actually, but I was struck. 2 Harry Potter railways, and I think they're from. I know Duncan, who built the Hogsmeade station. I know him online, and it's interesting that, and maybe this is spurred by sets, because the only steam train set, as we were telling some members of the public at Reading Brick Show last weekend, is currently the Hogwarts Express, which isn't a great model in terms of steam locomotives, but it is the only one Lego do at the moment. Yeah. But it's interesting that both of those are sort of tied to the Harry Potter franchise.
I'd
Maybe
agree.
there's some more interest there.
Can I ask if you voted for the Hogsmeade one based on that tunnel design?
No, I voted for it based on the overall design. I think I really like the footbridge. I like the station building, and actually, if you look at it, it's not a big display, but it's done to a really nice standard.
It's super clean. I'll agree with that.
There's no loose ballast, which is obviously minus points, but other than that,
no, I think it's good, and I think it's all the entries in that category had a very high caliber of detail, which made it hard to choose a winner. And so it's just nice to.
I really liked all of them. The display, the Hogwarts display, like the city display, is pretty amazing as well. They're all really good.
Yeah, the scale of that was enormous. There's so much going on.
Yeah, I sort of like that. I think for a home display, that's really good. There's a lot of detail, a lot of tunnels, tracks on different levels, which I love. I think that's great. Mr. Miller, I think you were next, and then I can see Will's asking as well.
Yeah. If you could zoom in again on the city one.
Hogwarts, yeah.
For the listeners at home, we have Levi showing us the pictures we're talking about. At the very bottom there, can you see what? It looks like a subway train. That's why it got my vote.
But it's running the high speed.
It's a high speed subway train.
But it is
All
underground.
subways are high speed.
Okay. Was that your only point?
No, that is the one I voted for, and
it's really nice. I like it.
There's the vast scale of it for one. There's a lot going on.
True, I do like that custom Hogwarts.
I like the custom Hogwarts and the skyscrapers and stuff.
The skyscrapers are
really nice, really impressive. Okay, I think Will was next.
I actually voted for Hogsmeade as well. I feel like the Hogwarts City one is just a bit overwhelming, to be honest. And I love pretty much every building that Paul's designed, but as a layout, it looks like he's only halfway there. There's a lot of detail that it looks like he's planning to put in it. Everything he's built is fantastic.
That's true.
The geometry of the engine shed almost won it on its own.
Oh, yeah. The fact it's on an angle and
but at the end,
track. Yeah.
At the end of the day, the one I centered on the most when I looked at the three of them for voting, and that's partly obviously I've seen Paul's already, which didn't help him, but was just Hogsmeade, because it's just a complete solid for that space. Everything in it is done to a level, a consistent and quality level. So for me, I vote the same as you. I vote for Hogsmeade, and it was difficult because I definitely wanted to vote for like all the individual parts of Paul's layout, and I suspect in a few years' time I will be voting very much for Paul's layout.
Oh yes,
but at the moment, it's like, as somebody who also has spent a long time struggling to fill baseboards to make them look consistent and part of a actual world, I just felt that the Hogsmeade did it better than any of the other options.
I agree. Yep. I did speak to Paul, who's won some previous awards, because he was at Bricktastic and we were displaying the Northern layout there. And I said, we were making jokes about, he's won so many awards that he's never going to join because otherwise he couldn't win all the awards. So do we have any more comments on that? No, I think we can move on. So next category then, should we do, let's do wagons and then let's do locos. So the wagons, again, this was a category with quite a low entry rate. Most people like the glory of building locos, I guess. We can start with whatever Levi's going to show me in front of me. Okay, so we have, let's start with the open wagons. I really like these, and I think it was all pretty close in the wagons category. I know we only had 3 entries, but actually they're all of a pretty good standard, and the open wagons are pretty nice. display. Do we have information of who built those, please, Henry or Levi? I don't have that in front of me for some reason.
Yes, of course we do. So the open wagon was built by Andrew, obviously not our club member Andrew, who unfortunately can't be with us for this podcast. The GWR Auto Coach was built by Joe Graham, but that was entered before he became a member. And the other one was the BR Rail Freight Van was by Hod Carrier.
Thank you. Yeah, so we had a good range. We got some sort of modern freight, some older freight, and then some sort of old fancy passenger thing. That's a technical term.
Do you not know what an auto coach is?
Yeah,
It's one that's not a manual transmission.
that's true.
It's a push-pull coach.
I mean, they
Put
can
a
all be
loco-
pushed
you
and
put a
pulled.
loco at one end, and the driver can sit at the other end of the coach and propel it backwards, basically.
Correct. Good. You passed the test. You can remain a member.
I could have told you it's a coach with extra toilets, and you wouldn't have known any better.
Yeah, also true.
I thought it was another Pullman.
It's GWR.
Same colours. GWR likes Pullman colours, despite being not Pullman quality.
Let's
Shots
start
fired.
with these. Let's start with the open wagons. So I think it'd be nice to discuss those. And we have a lot of logos to get through, and even more member entries, which we're not going to get all through in this podcast, I think. But yeah, open wagons. So any?
They're there and they're open.
Oh, I can see
And their
Levi.
wagons.
Levi.
Yeah, I'm sort of looking at the dark grey one on the right there, that none of our viewers can see. The undercarriage detailing with all the bars and the other bar things, I just really like that. And I mean,
Yep.
it's
I like
quite
it.
condensed, but it's relatively accurate as well.
I like it. I can imagine them falling off all over the layout at every show we do. But yeah, I like those. Trace. I think you're next.
I'm gonna blow smoke up Will's ass really quick, but I think one of the reasons why we didn't get a lot of wagon entries was because Block Junction has just been flourishing with a lot of different rolling stock.
Is he paying you?
No.
Not enough, apparently.
But
not
the
enough. I think
With
Will
the
should
three
pay
that we
Trace a bit
have
more.
here and the diversity that is here, I liked everything that we got. I think I voted for Joe's auto coach just because since I entered my auto tank, it felt ceremoniously correct. My old
They're
fish
all
one
good.
was longer, but I
Yeah,
love that dark brown and the tan for the chocolate and cream. It looks so
It
nice.
is. Yeah, they are a very nice combination of colours. I can see Miller because I forgot Miller. Miller should have been before Trace. Sorry, Miller.
No.
Yeah, you will be sorry. I think I voted for the rail freight one because it looks like an armored subway car.
God. And actually, the video. Did you watch the video that Paul? No,
I didn't.
sorry.
I
This
didn't
one was
see a
Hod
video.
Courier,
I just saw the voting thing and picked that.
Oh,
one.
so the video.
'Cause I
I
quite
think
like
it's
it.
Andy is Hod Carrier, isn't it? So Andy submitted just the video, and we had to get a screenshot of it for social media. But if you
Right.
watch it, it gets pulled apart and kind.
Oh, is it that one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's
I feel
the-
like you should know this. if
it's
you
like the
voted
comedy
for
entry.
it.
Well, I just happen to like this professional still shot. That's perhaps why I picked it.
I mean, ceremoniously, it goes well with our new LUKR logo that we have this year.
This week, we're a different
That's
name
true.
each week.
That's true. No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Moving on. Anyone else, or can we move on to the loco category, which is arguably a bit more excitable? I'm a wagon person.
Tell us more.
It's not what we call you.
Build any?
I don't build any. No, I just like looking at them. So
heard that.
Levi's loading up the locos. We'll see where we get to. There are a lot of entries. The winner of this one, of course, was the LNER A4 Pacific Sir Nigel Gresley by James H.
Just
really
goes to
nice
show
model.
if you want to win a loco category, you got to go with the LNER.
Yeah, I feel like LNER is a good choice, and also Mallard is a good choice. It's a really nice color, really nice model.
We have photographs of all the entries because I legitimately can't remember what I voted for.
Levi's loading them up now.
There was Mallard, a Gronk, and a Terrier.
Oh, GT3, that's what I voted for.
Oh, I voted for the
Oh,
G. You're right. You're right. You're right.
GT3
Yeah, yeah.
was good. Yeah.
Oh,
That-
and
that-
that merchant
and
navy.
the
The orange
Civic
is
logo.
really good.
Yep.
Of course, members got 3 votes each in this category,
Sorry,
which
they're
we
all
sort of did
whizzing
to.
by us right now, so we're just calling them out as we see it.
We sort of did that to alleviate any problems with like drawn categories, and of course we had a draw on this category, didn't we? Was this the one with? Oh no, it was
No,
the member
it was the
category.
member category that had a draw. This had the
Okay.
decisive winner of Sir Nigel Grizzly.
Okay, cool.
It's a great build. Fantastic
It
use
is.
of that
It's
trim line
really
tape.
nice. So who wants to pick up first and talk about this one? Trace, I feel like it's going to be you.
Yeah, no, sorry, I was trying to give someone else a chance. It's always fun looking at the locos, and I love the fact there was so much steam this time around. Will called it out earlier, but that GT3 has a crap ton of detail in it for something that's already kind of shown in a streamline capacity. But the way that they kind of accent those curves by still giving definition is really neat. And that front leading pony has a lot of great detail too.
That Hod Carrier as well, that.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, it's Hod Carrier as well. Guy who did the rail freight van.
Oh, yo, you're right. Didn't he also do the
It's a
warship that got
travesty.
second place
His
last
comedy
year?
van won, but his bloody useful, bloody beautiful locomotive didn't.
Yeah, no. But he did the warship that got second place last year, right? Behind Paul's 08.
Was the warship not Paul's as well?
I don't think so. I thought that was
I
Paul.
honestly forget.
Me too.
Could be wrong. Well, we all know that Rory won with.
It wasn't last year, it was the year before.
Oh, that's
Time
right.
is meaningless.
Someone else won last year, just saying.
Time is meaningless. Lunchtime doubly so.
True. Oh, I really like that pannier too. With the dark blue. It's just fun to see engines built in that color.
You just like panniers.
I love tank engines.
And as we discovered at Reading Brick, was it Reading Brick Show last weekend? The 060s run most reliably on the layout.
Oh,
Don't
no
want
surprise.
we don't want
They're
10
balanced.
locos. Waste of time.
I mean, unless it's Rory's austerity,
Gosh.
which
That's,
And
that's
Levi's.
award winning, I'll have you know.
yeah, it burnt out a motor and possibly broke one of the points.
Didn't he
It
burn
went
out
worse
two motors?
than my austerity.
He's stress testing. It's worthwhile. Oh, that Merchant Navy was great too.
Okay. I can see Miller has his hand up. I dread to ask, but Miller, what are your opinions?
Well, I voted for, you'll be surprised to know, the Crane steam engine.
Oh, that is a surprise.
I quite like that one. It's just because of the unusual
Surprised
factor.
you haven't built one.
The crane
You
engine.
know.
It's right up Miller Street. Is it weird, but technically a kettle? Okay then.
Yeah,
was-
that
was
sort of works, doesn't
that
it?
was one. The second one I voted for, I think that was the GT3 because it looks like a steam engine, but it's not. So that gets my vote.
Best of both worlds. It's got all the impracticalities of a steam engine and is slightly less charismatic than diesel.
So that got one, and the other vote I got went to.
Wait, did
an
you not
an
vote for the
08.
Gronk?
Of course I did.
Yeah, I didn't need to ask.
And it won. Hooray!
May have won the Miller Award.
It sure did. I'll post that tomorrow.
And
Oh,
the
the Miller
Miller
Award was just your
Award,
girding face on the internet.
the Miller Award is a £3,000 prize sponsored by Chris Miller.
In 3,000 installments
Of-
yearly.
No. I thought it was 30,000 installments.
Okay, anyone
Just sends
else?
a
I can't see.
penny every time he remembers.
I can't see any hands up. So any others?
No, I think it was just a
I-
great
I-
tournament all around. A lot of variety.
I like the pug. I did. I can't remember if I voted for it, but I
Let's
really
go to
liked
the pug.
Rory has his hand up.
This is Joe Graham's. Oh, does he? Oh, I can't see Rory on the list actually. Sorry.
Rory.
Yeah,
So-
I was going to say that I'm slightly biased, but I quite like the LMR austerity. So I
Of
voted
course
for
you do.
that.
Yeah,
Boo,
it is.
put your
It
hand
is very
down.
nice. That's Joe's entry as well.
Yeah, I was going to say it's quite a nice compact model and sort of gets it all in quite enough space.
Yep, very nice. I really
Agreed.
like the what's the GWR thing with the dragon crest on the side, which
Oh, the prairie tank.
presumably is the BR line,
It's no,
but
it's
they've used the little dragon crest from the the sort of vintage
The knights,
uh,
right?
vintage knights. Yeah, I really
one
like
of
that.
their Welsh coal tanks.
That's a clever idea.
Yeah, it's really cool. I saw a Welsh flag using that design, just built in brick. It wasn't very big. I can't remember who did it, but it's kind of stuck with me because it's actually really effective, and it's nice that it's not a sticker and it's actually a Lego element, even though it wouldn't stick out that far probably.
Tell
But
you what, that on a coach with a gold circle and sticker around it would look an awful lot like their line
the
and
roundel.
logo. Yeah.
You know how the boiler rises up at an angle halfway along?
Yeah, that taper.
Yeah, I know that's how they're supposed to look, but to me it just looks like they didn't quite stop in time. It used to be longer than Mallard, but now it's
That's got
Very true.
stumped.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think. Do we have any more relevant comments on the locos category?
No, but great job, everyone.
I just also like to put a shout out for that Trevivic logo because you don't.
Oh,
often
that
see-
was awesome. Yeah,
You don't often
I
get to
voted
see
for that.
somebody. I think I did as well. You very rarely get to see somebody do something that old, and to have pulled it off quite so spectacularly, even though I suspect it wouldn't roll, is quite impressive.
boo
I-
no,
steam.
it doesn't need to. It just looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
I
like that.
too really liked this loco because I've not seen anything really like these models before. Whereas we've all seen mallards, we've all seen panniers and terriers and everything, but I haven't
I
seen one
think
of
it
these.
was
before.
I don't care for your tone.
the Brick
No,
I
Train
did
Award.
like your terriers.
He was developing some track for it as well, I remember. I know he certainly managed to do a curve. And we were trying to goad him into doing points, but whether he ever gave in to trying to do that, I don't know. But he
the
certainly
brick-
did curves. Yeah, it's amazing.
The Brick Train Awards last year, I think, there were 6 entries in the loco category, which are all the same. I think it was Tornado in different liveries, and obviously Andrews won possibly because it was a different livery and it wasn't green.
Even though it's
It
the
wasn't
wrong
blue.
colour.
I mean, also, it's the best tornado I've ever seen.
Yeah, also that it's a really good model. Okay, I think we can move on from logos unless anybody has a really important point. I suspect none of you do. Nope. So we can move on to the members category, and we had, what was it, about 30 entries for this one, Henry?
32.
32. See, I was right.
Go through them
obviously,
individually.
the winning entry should have been the giraffe wagon, which was submitted, but damn you didn't vote for it. So let's.
Like we don't appreciate it.
I can't remember what I voted for. I definitely voted for Pete's. Is it Class 15, the blue diesel?
I voted for that as well, I think, and I voted for. I can't remember now. I've definitely seen something I voted for flash on the screen.
Oh,
What?
I voted for Levi's layout, which was high bricks, which was at
I think I did
Spa
as well.
Valley.
Oh, that
Yeah, that was at
J70.
Spa Valley Model Railway
There-
Show last September.
Can I just congratulate Henry on cheekily inputting his logo based on a logo that was already inputted?
But mine works.
Is not my experience. I've never
Yeah,
been to a
it-
show where Rory's austerity didn't work, and I've never been to a show where your austerity did work.
Reading,
Oh,
mine
dear.
works better than Rory's.
I wasn't at Reading, so as far as I'm concerned, lies.
While
Okay.
it's on screen right now, I did vote for Rory's school class. I love that engine.
couldn't vote for Rory's
It's
score
very
because
nice.
I'm jealous that I haven't built one yet.
I don't think it goes round corners particularly well, does it, Rory?
It managed a couple of complete loops before it tore itself apart. But it's fine.
If
But it looks good.
if I
so that's
may,
fine.
trains
At least
don't
it
go around
didn't-
corners; they go around curves.
At least it didn't burn a motor.
Boo.
Yeah.
True. So we'll have some hands up, please, for we'd like to hear from members about their favourite entries, even if you didn't vote for them, or even if you did vote for them. And I can see, I presume Roly Mole, is that a Miller or is that a Rory?
It sure is me.
Why would you change your name halfway
I
through?
didn't do it. Someone else has.
Henry, right,
Um,
off you go.
Right. The first one I voted for was the winner. Because
start.
I am a sucker for the intercity livery.
Yeah,
if-
I really
if-
love this one,
If
actually.
there's ever a competition with Miller's favourite category, just put the intercity livery on it and it will get my attention, even if it never had that livery.
Oh, that's hard to
Intercity
swallow.
Bronc.
Delivery tornado coming right up.
Yes, please do.
You joke, but they were talking about getting Virgin sponsorship when they were building it. Unfortunately,
Nice.
Virgin wouldn't pay.
Yeah, just I like it's got that feel to it, which I really like. The second one was Pete's, the 15. There was nothing else quite like it, to be honest, diesel wise.
Very well done.
Right.
Love the way you did the wasp stripes.
Just because you
Yeah.
don't like wasps.
No, I really like this one, and actually, I think it did really well in the votes as well, didn't it? I don't think Pete even voted in the end.
No.
He just entered his model and went quiet. But yeah, I really like this one.
Okay.
And it has a decent amount of pulling power. It's not very fast, but the prototype was never very fast.
Circuit cubes, isn't it?
Yes,
Favourite.
you can hear it because it's circuit.
Can you?
I've
so whisper
noticed.
quiet.
I've actually noticed that some of my locos are considerably louder than others. And as soon as I've pinpointed why that is, my locos will all get a lot quieter, hopefully. I have a sneaking suspicion it's down to what colour pins I've used, which is a problem, because it's the blue ones that I think make it quieter.
Ah,
Yeah.
The third,
okay. Can we
third
have?
and last I voted for
Oh, okay.
was the 325, whoever's that was.
What?
No,
Boo.
no, we don't want that.
Can we just have a honorary
That
mention?
did actually do
Radar.
very well in
Did
the
it?
vote, and it did really well on social
Did
media
it?
as well. I think. Yeah,
I
it didn't
thought-
win, so it didn't do that well.
I thought if I'd vote for it, it would be at least not last.
Sounds like the
Yeah, I
giraffe
think-
mentality.
I think you went better than the giraffe wagon.
Got
For
equal
having
to
a
the
You-
giraffe.
He tied with the giraffe.
It's
Oh,
the corporate
all right.
sponsorship. If it didn't have As Seen on Glasgow Live, or whatever it is, he would have won it. But corporate sponsorship put everybody off.
Very true.
I changed my
okay.
mind. I was going to enter a picture of Williams A3 with the As Seen on Glasgow Brick Live in front of it, but I didn't in the end.
Okay, so we're going back to hands up because people are interrupting again. But while we wait for someone to put the hands up, I really liked John Reynolds. He's got an 08, which is an automatic uncoupler, remote controlled uncoupler. And I think the photo we have that Levi is desperately trying to find right now. Keep going. It's not that one. Yeah, there it is.
That is it.
So we have a photo of the mechanism, and essentially a motor is there to push out the magnet or pull in the magnet so it decouples against the buffers.
Oh, is
It's a
that what
really
that
clever
is?
design. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that and didn't know what it was, so I
So
didn't.
Bronk Miller, did you not vote for it?
No.
In Miller's defence, if I'd not known what it was, I would have not had a clue what it was.
Exactly. It's just it's a chassis.
The problem with the Google Forms that we used for voting was that you could only put one photo per entry.
That sounds like an organizer problem.
Yeah.
No. Well, yeah, the problem is submit one good photo that showcases your model. Okay, so I can see Chris
Yeah,
has.
you said to put your hands up, so I did, and it looks like I'm the only person who did it. So
So we're
Yeah,
back with
everyone else is weirdly quiet, even Will, which is very unusual.
Trace has his hand up.
Yeah. All right. Do you not have anything to say? You just put your hand up.
No, I've got some stuff to say. The members was really tough. I feel like everyone shares ideas so much that it was hard not to submit something that
Yeah.
wasn't collaboration.
Definitely.
But I will say Luke's Princess that he submitted and Lewis's J70 Tram were two of my votes that I think just really stood out based on livery alone, as well as shape and texture.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think I
All
agree.
right.
It was really hard actually picking. I could have voted about 5 times and probably voted for everyone over the space of that, depending what mood I was on. So yeah, I think it was quite a hard one. Rory, I think I can see you with your hand up.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's what I found particularly difficult was because it was just a general members category. There wasn't anything. It was all locos, wagons, layouts all thrown in together. It was so hard I found to compare because obviously it was trying to compare a layout to a loco and what's better is really difficult.
That was really hard. Yeah, I struggled with that as well, and it's a shame because actually there were some really nice wagons. A giraffe one, for example, but also Joe Graham's. He had some sort of parcel van, I think, and it was a really nice design. I feel like that deserved something, but obviously locos tend to win when it's everything train related. Locos tend to get the vote. We have a lot of hands up, so I don't know who was first because I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. We'll go with Will because Miller's already spoken many times.
I just want to point out the absurdity of whilst Pete's hoppers are very nice, he's got a nearly complete breakdown train behind it and he didn't enter it.
Why?
That would have won hands down.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
So true.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I really like
He
Pete's
only
hoppers.
entered one thing.
I really like Pete's hoppers, but why wouldn't you enter the breakdown train?
I'd have voted for the breakdown train.
It's over 2 years old.
It's not. He's been working on it for that long, but it's not 2 years old.
Oh man.
Last time I visited him, it was nowhere near that complete.
We are back to Rory with some comments, apparently.
One of the ones I did vote for was Levi's Spa Valley layout. Just because I never saw it in the person, but the way he did the landscaping, that's had such an impact on all of the sort of route layouts going forward and how expensive that is now for all of us. That sort of really
thanks,
got the ball
thanks,
rolling.
Levi. So the northern layout now has his style of ballasting, which I was avoiding forever because it's really expensive, but it does look good. And then Will's also done some on the playout, and I think a couple of other people have copied it for their home layout. So thanks, Levi, for costing me a fortune.
I would like to point out that whilst Levi has definitely cost me an absolute fortune, I got a little bit of revenge by him giving me about 50 4x6 plates, which he then regretted massively.
Too generous, if anything.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I'm not building any more scenery anytime soon," forgetting he had a southern layout to build.
Okay, I can see Miller for members, and then I think we can go to a wrap-up of some sort, hopefully.
Yeah, there's an entry that's it's a top-down shot of a person stood inside with some sort of mechanism.
What?
That's the brake van.
Is there?
What's that?
When the train rolls along, the guard hangs out the brake van and waves his flag.
Oh, that's what that is.
Very clever.
John Reynolds again.
Yeah, it's very clever. Only it's a little concerning that you've got a guard constantly and frantically waving a red flag, and the train shows no interest in stopping.
That's why he's waving it frantically. Stop! Stop! Please stop!
That all makes sense. Yeah, I think it was slightly better because in previous years when we've done voting, it's all been by email, and then we've counted it up all manually, and we had Google Forms doing it this time, showing us bar charts of who was winning. which was better. But the downside of that is one image per thing.
Is there a way of doing preferential voting? Because I've noticed this both with this and with the LNUR private owner wagons. I didn't really want to vote for free sometimes because there was one I definitely wanted to win and a couple that I liked. And
not as far as I know. No.
If you don't have preferential voting, voting for any of the other ones you like is just voting against the one you want to win.
It's a shame there's no option to do sort of a gold, silver, bronze vote.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest thing to do would just be like vote for your first choice, vote for your second choice.
Yeah, maybe we could do that. It sounds like a job for Levi or Henry.
Give them a weighted score.
I agree.
Sounds like a job for Levi or Henry because filling that form in for the awards voting was very tedious and I never want to do it again.
This time.
But yeah.
But yeah,
maybe so. So, okay, last question actually, and then we're going to close up the podcast. So, the last question is who was robbed? So, who didn't win a category? Which model didn't win a category? Who should have won a category? This is locos, wagons, displays, or member category.
Not carrying the locomotive category, seeing at least 2 of the 3 logos I voted for were his.
Trace had his hand up. And then
no, I redact that because Rory doesn't need another win. I take it back.
That's true. He's got big-headed now, hasn't he? Now he's won something. Terrible.
Also, if people keep voting for Trace's bullied, he might offer it for Block Junction. Just saying.
Yes.
No, because
no more
doesn't exist anymore.
Oh no!
Mr. Miller.
The giraffe wagon was robbed. Also, I have to go now.
Correct.
My planet needs me.
I'll send you the check.
We were robbed for having to look at the giraffe wagon.
Accurate though.
Okay, any more things that should have won? I think Trace had so many models that were really close to winning the members award and didn't. I think Trace was probably
always a
little bit robbed.
bridesmaid.
Yeah, well, Trace had 10 votes in total for his models, which is more than any other member, but they were split between 2 different models, both of which came in tied second.
Were any of them a Gronk?
None of them were quality, so it just shows I gotta step it up. Good learning curve.
It's just quality with you, quantity with you, Trace, isn't it? It's no, there's no quality there.
We're getting there. We're getting better every year. I'm more pleased.
Okay. Any more? No. Okay. We can close the podcast. Awesome. This is almost on time. That's very strange. So thank you for listening to the LUR Line podcast for the LUKR Awards 2022. We've announced the winners. We'll drop you an email if you've won. Thank you for entering. Members, you might get your prize at some point. You're less important. And thank you for listening. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of the above. And hopefully we'll be doing more regular podcasts. Again, after this, we've got a couple of topics lined up, including the Southern Club and the Southern Layout, and member wagons are back again. We've got a new one, which we've just voted on. So we'll be back with a new podcast. Thanks for listening and tune in again.